My name is Candace Goodwin, and this is my speech presentation for Speech 120. And here is my view of my 5-member, and here we go. Okay, so it was in May 2016, 2 weeks after giving birth to my daughter. Everything was fine. I thought the horror stories that they told about newborn baby girls when you take them home was exaggeration, but I was wrong. I had just come home from spending 3 days in the hospital. My daughter had jaundice, which was an infection in the blood, which caused her eyes to turn yellow, and she had to be in a type of incubator with a light by herself. Can you imagine that? And I was breastfeeding, so she was not having it. She cried constantly because in and out of poking. She only wanted me, and it was hard. But once we got her home, she slept, and it was peaceful. And about a couple weeks later, all hell hit the fan. She cried constantly. She went to no one but me. She was constantly on my hip, and it put me in a different space. I was on bed rest because the entire pregnancy was hard. I was on disability, and it was hard because she was on my hip constantly. Everywhere I went, she went, and it put me in a state of depression. I had thoughts about harming myself. I had thoughts about leaving. I had thoughts, just deep thoughts. I never took anything into action, but I cried consistently. I had anxiety attacks, panic attacks. It was nothing that anyone can do. And one day I broke down. I realized that I reached my end. I reached the end. I didn't have a way out. I didn't know what else to do. I was not in control. And that was the day that I sought out help. I looked to other mothers with similar experiences and started chatting and found out that I wasn't the only one. It was tons of women that went through the same thing. And I found support. I found support in these women. I found support in therapy, and I found support in self-care, which is why I'm a huge advocate of self-care. I go to therapy. I meditate. I take baths. I take vacation. I do whatever I need to do in order to bring myself back from that dark place. So with all that being said, the lesson that I learned was